friends, I'm so excited with today's podcast. You just have to know that at 7:45 every morning we meet with the mastermind. And I'm so into yesterday's and today's podcast that yesterday I had given to Jean-Philippe and Sylvain the whole full 2 days. And Marie-Pierre says, no, that's what we're covering tomorrow. So today we're covering consciousness. Did I say it right?
Conscience.
Conscience. There's a couple of words in English, Melanie. I can't say that.
Variety.
Variety. It's a word. It's a few words. Okay, hang on. This one is easy. Come on, Maria. Talking to myself. Conscience. I got it. Okay. So we're going to be talking about that today. And it really resonates with me because as I reread it yesterday, Melanie, I dove in a little bit deeper and I've got a fabulous story for you. Fabulous story. Okay. So welcome to the Millionaire of the Diamonds. I am Maria Mariano, over 40 years in business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm so excited. That's a good way to recap. I'm so excited because the new reels we've done, you'll be able to see not just my Tupperware business, but you're going to be seeing my family. And as of today, because we saw a preview of the next reels coming out, Melanie, and as of today, I said, you know what? People need to understand whatever we're building here in the podcast, whatever I'm building in my MLM, everything is connected and everything is one. Circling back to the authenticity of this podcast, The Millionaire of the Diamonds. I'm so excited. Melanie, I'm so excited. Marie-Pierre was like, wow. Okay, so if we can teach people to think differently, we can help them to live differently. Okay. And just remember, you can't just do it in one place and not another place. That's what we need to talk a lot more about, Melanie, moving forward. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. And our mission is simple but profound: to develop leaders who build wealth. Leaders, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a leader. Like, don't forget this. You're in charge, you're volunteering at a church, you're a leader. Okay. So it's to develop leaders who build wealth with integrity. And wealth has many, many levels. Like, we always associate wealth to billions of dollars. No, wealth is everywhere. But of course, you have to be able to pay your bills. By the way, just on another hand. It's all connected. So our community is absolutely amazing. And today we're going to close off that 2-part series of the podcast. But before we go there, which is conscience, did I get it? Did I get it? Yes, conscience. Your inner compass, your truth. You see, or in the East End, Montreal, we say tree 33, instead of 3. Just by the way, the difference between me and Melanie. So 3, okay. So to build that inner compass and really be in a state of peace. So I'm going on a cruise on Sunday, and I'm in such a state of peace that as I'm getting older, of course, I realize that it's become a chore. I love my home. I love my work. I love my life. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's a whole, but I'm excited because it's with Mohammed and two out of the 3 kids. And everybody's been asking me, why not Nadia? 2 reasons. Number 1, we need somebody for the pets. It's her pets. You don't know, eh? It's her pets. And number 2, she's still in school. But I think I'm going to do another private vacation with her. Maybe something like a Leblanc, Cancun. Yeah, maybe that. We'll see. So before we dive in, over to you, Marie-Pierre, for the sharing and the conference on the 24th.
Okay, so let's start to share the podcast this morning. So you have the text in the comment that you can copy paste it when you share so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. So make sure that you share on every social media platform, but you will see that when you click on the arrow to share, yes, you can share on every social media platform, but you can also share by messenger or text message. So when you have someone in mind that really needs to hear this, make sure that you send directly by messenger or text message, because it's the best way to make sure that they will click on the link and listen to the podcast this morning. Then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group, Les Millionnaires des Diamants Inspirational Group, every time that you post on the group, that you comment or you leave a reaction, you gain points during the month to be in the top 10 contributors of the group. And at the end of the month, we will announce the official top 10 that will get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And we have a draw at the end of each month. So for to be in the draw, you two places that you can post. One is about the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So when you order from the boutique or when you receive your order, make sure that you always take picture and you post on social media and you tag Marie Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And same thing with the books Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So every time that you receive one of the books, you take your picture. You're doing one of the chapter of the book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the quiz book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the workbook, you take a picture. You're using your agenda. That means every day you can take a new picture and post on social media and always tag Marie Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw at the end of the month. So next week we're gonna announce the official top 10 of November and the winner of November. And if you don't already have your ticket for the next conference that will happen on January 24th, make sure that you click on the link to be with us. So virtually or in person. So you will see that when you have your ticket, then if you want to be with us at the studio where we're gonna be live on the Zoom for everyone at the same time. So if you want to be with us in person, write me a message and I will add you to this special group that will be in the studio with us for the conference on January 24th.
I'm so excited. So I want to say a welcome to Martin Noel. And remember yesterday, I was very loud about I'm out of cream. Like I was really out of cream. So guess who comes to the office yesterday? And it's what, about 2 hours car ride? I know he came and get his challenges to a Tupperware or whatever, but I got this cream and I don't know where he got it or whatever. I think it's Melaleuca or something. Anyways, Marie-Pierre was telling me it is phenomenal. I hate creams that are greasy, so thank you. And I want to tell you, I didn't get one. I didn't get two. I got three, maybe four. I don't know. Anyways, Martin, thank you so much. And too much information. I was going to say my whole body has your cream now. That's too much sharing. Okay. So Martin, thank you. Lise is with us. Thank you for being here. Jacqueline. Whoop, whoop. And Louise is with us. Good morning. Please tag everybody. James Jr., thank you. We are watching as a group. Monique, Kendra, and Carolyn. Okay, where's Sherry? I don't see Sherry. Did you tag Sherry? Okay, who else? Olga. Olga's here. Melanie, Olga. Woo, woo. I love this because I get to see who's here, right? She probably always followed us on social media. So thank you. And let's dive right in. So welcome back to the Millionaire of the Diamonds podcast, where our mission is simple but bold, to develop thousands of leaders who live with purpose, integrity, and peace. And peace is yesterday and today's podcast. So as we count down to our conference on January 24th, every single podcast is going to be designed to take you a little bit deeper inside the habits, principles, and inner work to create an extraordinary life. I was saying to Jean-Philippe and Sylvain this morning, we're overselling the dream, underselling the discipline required. We need to be louder, my friends, on selling the dream, right? If your dreams are here and nothing's happened, you need to do something different. So then we need to sell at the same level the discipline required for this. So yesterday we explored contribution. Today we're going to enter into something a little bit more profound, conscience. Thank you, Melanie. At least I'm going to say it the right way. Because as Covey says in the book, without conscience, there is no peace. And I learned that truth the hard way. So I'm basically going to bring you a real life story. And Melanie is going to be the academic side where you'll be able to take that note. So I want to take you back to when I was 18 years old. I'm 61. So that's a long time ago. My mission was already crystal clear back then, helping women make money. And I'll tell you why. Because in my own home, I saw how my mother was kept small by my dad. And I don't ever want you to say, oh my God, what has it? No, it was the mentality back then. These are immigrants that came from the southern Italy, from La Campagna, the countryside, okay? So I saw it in my own home. The moment my mother started making money, her own money, the chains of submission began to break. Money gave her a voice, money gave her choices, and money gave her back her dignity. Money for me has always been where I have entirely dedicated my life to my Tupperware business, helping women make more money so they can free themselves at many levels. I know many women sometimes stay in toxic relationship simply because of the problem of money. So I knew my life would be dedicated to giving that same freedom to other women. At age 25, I was promoted to business leader with my husband, Mohammed. Now, remember, back in the days in 1989, the average age of Tupperware business leaders or distributors, as they called us back then, was over 40. We were the first ones, and Amy, my mentor, the one who recruited my mother, had pushed for that me and Mohammed become business leaders. By the way, somebody found a video of the moment we were promoted where Amy talks about us. And I can't wait to show you, but not just yet. It's going to be wonderful. Anyways, made me cry when it was brought to my attention. That being said, we bought a company. So we left the Millionaires, which was my mother's company, and we bought somebody else's company. A woman who was in her 40s, well in her 40s, a business who had been established for over 12 years. And this is where I totally lost myself. Not all at once, but little by little. Not because they were bad women, but because I was afraid. I was only 25 years old. I was afraid of being disliked. I was afraid of being too young. I was afraid of standing alone. And so I went against my grain, against my values, against everything Tupperware, the Millionaires had taught me, everything that my mom and dad had taught me. I came from a culture of integrity that was already ingrained in me from millionaires who had made their numbers, Amy Schmaltz, with integrity, with honor. They kept their word with deep respect for the mission of helping families. But the company we bought, it was completely a different world. People lived on credit margins, people owed money, and they all found that normal. Directors talked behind each other's back. If somebody wasn't in the room, the knives came out. People sold product they didn't even use. I went to one of the top sellers back then, Home, and I was flabbergasted to see there was absolutely no Tupperware in her refrigerator. They actually, when they were amongst themselves, these directors even laughed at certain consumers that bought, whatever. And I said, oh my God, they trusted you with this. But this is all silently in my head. And I, Maria, let it ride. I didn't stop it. I said nothing because I was scared, because I wanted to fit in, because I forgot who I was. And the more I ignored my conscience, let me go there first. The more I ignored my conscience, the more peace disappeared from my life. Okay. I was totally stressed out, totally anxious, totally unhappy. There was noise, there was chaos, there was stress, a heaviness I couldn't shake off. I knew I was out of alignment. And I needed courage to break the pattern. And courage I had, because when my son Hamid was born, I remember holding him and thinking, no, this is not the world I want my children to grow up in. Not through me, not around me. And 18 months later, Nadia arrived. And by the time Hamid was 4, I had Yasmin, I had 3. And I was 30 years old. And with every birth, my conscience, who do you want to be? What legacy do you want to leave behind? So with every birth, my conscience grew louder, clearer, and stronger. And one day it became undeniable. I looked at my life, my leadership, my environment, and I said, I would rather start over from zero than continue leading in a way that betrays my inner compass. And why did I choose to start over? Because like a tree, if you don't put the tutor when you plant the tree and the tree grows crooked, there's no bringing it back. So my solution, and thank God I have a husband that's like me, a mile deep and an inch wide. I said, Mo, let's sell everything. And we went in the Outaouais region. Nobody knew us. Nobody cared about our past successes. And that's where I met the Beauchamp family, that with 11 children. That's where I met the Tremblays, who had 14 children. That's where I met Joanne, who had 13 children. And you're saying, what's the relevance? They were people of faith. They were people of faith. I'm not saying if people don't go to church, they don't have faith. I don't go to church. Okay. But I have faith. Everything is ingrained in, there's a bigger universe, or like I would say to my children, God is watching. And that moment, that connection was like oxygen to a drowning woman. They lived with integrity. They worked with integrity. They spoke with integrity. This new business I bought, Tupperware business, their action matched their words every day, every time. Being around them reminded me of who I was before fear, before insecurity, before trying to fit in. It brought me back home to myself. It brought me back home to my values. It brought me back home to conscience. And for the first time in years, I had felt that peace again. So, can I tell you, I truly understand what the podcast today is about. Now, to be able to take down some notes so you can intentionally live with integrity. I'm leaving you in the hands of my academic friend, Melanie Miller.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. And of course, everybody has stories behind them. So thank you so much, Maria, for sharing your story about conscience. So I want to begin my part this morning with a précis of a story that Stephen Covey shares about a man known as the father of integrity therapy, who knew there was such a thing. Covey once asked him, "How did you become such a believer in the power of integrity?" The man explained that he had suffered from severe depression throughout his life. Every few years, he had to hospitalize himself to reduce the risk of ending his own life. Eventually, during one of his darkest episodes, he began to weather the framework of his life, the way he was living, was actually influencing his mental state. Covey was anxious to hear what he would say next, and what came out was deeply revealing. The man admitted that he had been living a double life. He had a mistress. He was hiding it from his wife. He was living in conflict with his own conscience. At one point, he made a drastic decision. He ended the affair. He confessed everything to his wife. And he committed to living in complete honesty for the first time in years. What happened next astonished him. His depression lifted. He felt a quiet, deep inner peace, something he hadn't felt in decades. He described it as self-honesty, self-unity, and integrity. This profound change led him to dedicate the rest of his life to studying the connection between integrity and emotional well-being. His conclusion was simple and unshakable. Without integrity, without conscience, true inner peace is impossible. And that's where I want to begin today, because unless you have integrity, your contributions risk becoming shallow. You can do good things, you can help people, you can be productive. But if your life is not aligned with your conscience, you will never feel at peace. Yesterday, we talked about the English writer whose creativity returned when he allowed his conscience to awaken his compassion. But it wasn't contribution alone that saved him. It was the alignment between what he felt inside and what he did outside. Contribution without conscience becomes performance, not purpose. It becomes ego, not meaning. People often think peace comes from staying in their comfort zone, from routine, from safety, from not rocking the boat. But that kind of peace is usually numbness. It is drifting through life without feeling alive. True peace, the deep kind, the kind that anchors you, comes from conscience. Conscience asks, is this who I want to be? Is this the right thing? Is this aligned with my values? Am I proud of this choice? Sometimes conscience asks us to do the uncomfortable thing, but that discomfort brings growth, strength, and clarity. Comfort tries to keep you safe. Conscience tries to make you whole. Integrity is not about perfection, it's about alignment. It is when your values, your words, your decisions, your habits, your actions all point in the same direction. When your outer life and your inner life match, you feel grounded, you feel calm, you feel at peace. When they don't match, even slightly, you feel stress, you feel unease, you feel that something inside is off. That feeling is not guilt, it is guidance. It is conscience calling you back to your true north. Your conscience is deeply personal and absolutely unique. No one else is living your life. No one else is your husband's wife. No one else is your children's mother. No one else has your exact experiences, talents, or purpose. So no one else can define your path. Your conscience communicates language that's designed just for you. It nudges you, it whispers to you, it reminds you of who you can become. This is why Covey insists that a personal mission statement must come from conscience, not from trends, not from outside pressure, not from expectations, only from within. Because when a mission comes from that deep place, it holds you steady, it guides your choices, and it brings you peace. Yesterday we explored contribution. Today we complete the picture. Contribution is what you give. Conscience is how you give it. Together they create your legacy. A legacy built on conscience is meaningful, principled, generous, and lasting. It is the kind of life that leaves the world better than you found it and leaves you with a heart of peace. So as we move forward today, please remember conscience is the voice that connects your life to your values. When you follow it, you step into alignment, and from alignment comes real, lasting peace. And now I'm going to leave you in the hands of Marie Pierre, who I'm sure is going to have a quiz for us this morning.
Yes, thank you, Melanie. So the quiz this morning is going to be a little different because I don't want you to write in the comment. I really want you to just reflect and take down note in your head, okay? Because it's really that when it's about the integrity, conscience, you need to do the reflection in your head first to really understand. So it's not the same kind of quiz, but it's a moment of self-awareness. So I will ask you some questions. If you want to give some answer in the comment, you can. But first, I want you to answer for yourself. So for example, where are you out of alignment with yourself right now? So are you, for example, saying yes when you want to say no? Are you avoiding a truth because it might hurt someone? Are you pretending that everything is fine when something isn't? And what decision you have postponed because it requires honesty or courage? So, for example, maybe a conversation that you avoid, a boundary that you need but you haven't communicated to the person, a habit that you know that you must stop but you keep negotiating with yourself. Then, what truth do you need to tell yourself today? For example, that I'm exhausted because I don't delegate. I'm overwhelmed because I'm not being honest about my limit, or I'm frustrated because I'm ignoring my deeper value. So what is that truth that you need to tell yourself today? And the next one, in what area of your life do you feel split? So acting one way publicly, feeling another way privately, or saying something but doing something else, living with a silent guilt or unresolved conflict. So it starts the reflection on how you can and make sure that you are aligned and you have that integrity. So 5 signs that you are ignoring your conscience and your integrity. If you have the internal discomfort, so you feel that heaviness or tension around a decision or something that you did. Number 2, procrastination. So you delay action that require alignment or honesty. Number 3 is justification. You explain away behavior that you know it's not right. Number 4 is mental noise. So your mind feels scattered or loud around certain choices. And number 5, emotional splitting. So you feel one person on the outside and another person on the inside. So these are signal. It's not punishment, but it's signal, because your conscience is not here to accuse, but it's there to help you be aligned with your value. It's there to be your guide. It's there to be your compass when you have a decision to make. So it's really to understand that conscience, integrity, it's not about being perfect, but it's something that will help you to correct, to be aligned with what you are inside, and to make sure that you are aligned with your decision and your value, your principles. So on that, of course, it's something that we'll continue to talk about, because it's not something that today you say, okay, now I know exactly what to do and it's going to be perfect starting tomorrow. It's something that you need to work on every day. And remember, it's not about perfection, but it's there to help you correct when you need to correct and realign to be on the right path. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.